Are we ready for some ghost stories?
I'm ready for some fucking
Hell
ghost
yeah.
stories.
All right. So I found from Tweak, India,
Okay.
Indian ghost
I'm fairly
stories.
sure it's a person I buy drugs from, but go ahead.
Indian ghost stories. I have a number of fun Indian ghost sightings.
Ooh, cool.
So let us start.
I'm not overly familiar with Indian folklore, so this is interesting. I know that ghouls originally started in India, right?
They did indeed.
Ghoulie
These are
man.
not ghouls, really. These are all ghosts. These are some ghost stories that just gave me the goosey bumps.
Okay,
And hopefully they will to you as well.
The ghoulie bumps. Nope,
The
that's
ghoulie
something
bumps.
else. As we
No,
learned.
yeah.
Yes.
Listen to the grave nugget. Learn.
Yeah,
learn.
that might be related to your whole hot dick in the city situation.
So number one that I enjoyed was Baby Just Won't Stop Crying.
Oh, yikes.
Okay. Let's assume this is an actual ghost story.
And not a Dean Martin song.
In 2014, I used to share an apartment with two girls in Navi, Mumbai. We all had erratic work hours. A laminated magnetic photo of Hanuman had been left by the landlord on a soft board.
That is the monkey god, right? Hanuman?
Google that, Jordan. I'm going to continue, but I do think so, yes.
Carry
on. It just used to fall off randomly, and we'd find it on the floor several times a day. But we never saw.
Did they say that they characterized it as a thing that was monkeying around?
I think you would in this case. They didn't, but I think we can.
Hanuman is a Hindu god and divine monkey companion of the god Rama. Hanuman is one of the central characters of the Hindu epic Ramayana. He is an ardent devotee of Rama and one of the Chiranjeevis, which is one of the 8 immortals that remain alive until the end of the earth.
Interesting. So check this out. Falls multiple times. They never see it fall in front of them, but it happens so much that they check the entire house for like wind and pressure and banging and everything. They can't make it fall on their own. During the housewarming party, one of our friends mentioned that the energy of the house seemed off. He asked us to cleanse the energy with sage and change the direction of the magnet. And that was that magnetic photo of Hanuman. That took care of the falling photo. So apparently you just had the reverse magnetics on there.
They had it on the wrong side.
I had it on the wrong side. I've done that before. However, a few weeks later, a new problem began in my bedroom. Whenever I was alone at night on call with friends, they would hear sounds of a baby crying in the background. And they would ask, who is crying in the house? It happened several times, and I was losing my sleep and getting frightened. Before I moved out of the house, I started staying at my uncle's house in Santa Cruz whenever my roommates worked night shifts.
Okay.
Wait, in Santa Cruz?
Yeah.
That's a Santa Cruz in India?
No.
Or
California.
All the way to Santa Cruz.
I do like the idea that there's also a Santa Cruz in India.
Let's say I'm pronouncing that the most incorrect.
Okay.
Santa Cruz.
But it is spelled Santa Cruz. So,
Okay,
and that is from someone named Siddhata.
Uh-huh.
The next one is, where's the lift man?
Okay.
In the Indian Bulls Finance Center building in Mumbai back in 2015, DNA and Hindustan Times had their offices in the same tower. The 11th.
DNA?
It's a magazine, I'm pretty sure.
Go on.
Had their offices in the same tower and 9th floor, respectively. Often, photographers would cover parties late at night and return to the office to download the photos. They'd say that they sensed spirits in the elevator and it would randomly stop on the 10th and 12th floor.
Okay, that's spooky.
One more than where they were supposed to be going.
That's scary.
Doors would open and shut, but no one would enter. Once a photographer from DNA, and I think I forgot what it means.
It is not important.
It does not matter. Once a photographer from DNA was leaving in the wee hours and the elevator stopped on the 10th floor. When the door opened, a lift man entered. There wouldn't be any at that hour generally, and stared at the photographer, who then got terrified and got off on the 9th floor.
A liftman, huh? A staring liftman.
It sounds a little bit like someone's trying to keep them away from something, or maybe protect them,
or show them something.
All that happened that night was that he got crazy scared, waited for the Hindustan Times photographer to finish his work, and then left with him.
Okay.
Ghost stories floated around of someone who died on the 12th floor during the construction of the tower, and apparently it was his spirit. But who knows? And that is from Nikita D.
All right. Creepy. Very, very creepy.
Right?
Pretty spooky.
I read these and I was all like, yes, I need these. I must say these to people.
Yeah.
I just, I like to get on an elevator and just stare someone down until they get off.
I like to get on an elevator and just ride it to my destination and not have to worry about it. What's the deal with these haunted elevators?
The next story is a short one, and it's called Found My Dead Grandfather in the Attic.
Ooh.
All right. Story told.
Yowza.
Or is it? I was 7 years old. It was Durga Puja. I'm pronouncing that first one very improper. I apologize. And my family decided to go pandal hopping after midnight. At 11:30, my mom asked me to go downstairs and wait with my dad. When everyone had gathered downstairs, I was missing. They started looking for me, and even the neighbors gathered around. My mom thought I must be in the washroom and went upstairs to look for me. Instead,
I was in the walls crawling around. A little creep.
Child in the walls. Get the shovel. Start banging on the pipes. We got to scare her down. Instead, her mom heard my laughter from the attic adjacent to the terrace. When she went upstairs and heard me saying, "Give me the ball. Otherwise, how will we play?" Right then, she saw a ball bounce toward me. She picked me up and rushed downstairs and asked my dad to lock the attic.
Right.
Yep. I hate it.
She has no memory of the person telling the story, Rick Bonergy, has no memory of how he got into the attic or playing with anyone. Years later, his mom confessed that she saw him play with the spirit of my grandfather.
Wow.
Well,
yes.
I'm glad that he was taking an active part in his grandchildren's lives.
It is kind of sweet, isn't it?
A little sweet. It is like the creepiest way to do it. Like, I'd like to think when I'm a ghost and I'm playing with the grandkids, I'm not going to pick such a creepy way to do it. But, Grandpa's got to steal his moments. I can see my dad doing this shit to my nephew,
For sure. It's something my dad would do
very
too.
Much alive, and
our ghost dads now. Our ghost dads, yes. This next story is called "At the Speed of Flashlight." I was about.
Sorry, getting too clever there for your own good. Author.
The person getting clever once
End
again.
quote.
This is from Tweak India and Arudhati Chatterjee. is the phenomenal punster creating these headline or these story names. Where was I? At the speed of flashlight. I was about 16 and had been out for a friend's birthday and came home with my 2 friends over for a sleepover. We were sitting in my balcony at about 2:30 a.m. and a third friend was in the living room adjoining the balcony speaking on the phone. Can I just say, I don't know if this is like, these are very wealthy people, but every house so far has a balcony or a terrace. And I am jealous.
Yeah, that is true. Huh?
Yeah.
But you also increase the odds that you'll be haunted and or end up in a scenario where you become the ghost.
That's
seems.
Fair. Third friend
and
speaking
I think
on the
depending
phone.
on the city, if it's Mumbai, there's probably a lot of high-rise housing.
Sure.
Also, there's videos mostly on TikTok, but also just on YouTube compilations. A number of creatures just jumping on your balcony in some places. Be careful with your balcony. Perhaps bless it.
Just leaping and bleeping, all nimbly bimbly.
Now it's 2:30 a.m. A third friend's talking in the living room, speaking on the phone. A few minutes later, we saw a weird flashing light. And seeing as we were 16-year-old girls brought up on a diet of horror movies, and it was nearly 3 a.m., we rushed to get back inside. Our friend followed us wordlessly. We ran into my bedroom, locked the door, and the floodgates opened. She began breathlessly to tell us how she had looked up from her phone call and found herself staring into someone's or something's eyes. She freaked out and told the person she was talking to, "Oh my God, something is looking at me." Staying on the phone, she stood up to call us and saw us walk toward her. It's been 14 years and she swears by what she saw. As for us, we tried to reason that the flashing light could have been a reflection of headlights, but I live on the 8th floor, so yep, high-rise balcony. Random torchlights, and that if we imagine it, but she's convinced she saw something. For many months after, I was convinced I could hear footsteps and raps on my window at night, and my cousin, who considers himself extra sensitive, I call him extra fatu, refused to come over and stay at my house, convinced he could feel something. Weirdly, this was around the time my next door neighbor had passed away after a long illness. Eventually, the sounds and feelings disappeared, and perhaps my fear did. We'll never know. Shandi Seagal.
Sounds like the neighbor was going noisily, not going quietly into that good night.
Right? Like we think of going quietly into the good night as like I died in my sleep, essentially.
Right.
But then you're still maybe around for a little bit and you can still thrash, it seems.
Sure.
Scare 16-year-old girls by staring into their soul, letting them know that life, it doesn't get any better. No, it does. I'm sorry. That was a 13 Reasons Why moment there. We're not trying to raise teen suicide.
Guy, I thought we were promoting Dylan Thomas.
The next story, and we'll go through the next ones. They're fun. You give me fever. When I was 14, my family made a trip to Rajasthan. We had one night.
That's where you from?
That's
Roger?
where I'm from. We had a one-night halt at Jaipur before taking the train to Jaipur. Our hotel was right next to the railway station, where we were in a suite with 2 rooms. That's nice. I've never been in one of those.
Yeah.
I hear legend of them, though, in articles that I read from India.
They're out there.
From the moment I entered the room, I got a splitting headache.
Oh.
Soon came down with the temperature. I thought I was having heat stroke.
Whoa.
The next morning, when we
Psychic
reached...
attack, that's what that is.
Jordan knows. Listen to the last episode. Next morning, when we reached the railway station at 6 a.m., I had somehow recovered completely. Later, My mom told us that around 2:30 a.m., something woke her up. She heard a voice whispering, "Mama, Mama," into her ears. It sounded like my brother. And although my mom was about to turn around, she didn't, because she said that when spirits call you, you must not turn around. That's some good paranormal preparedness that I think fits a lot of cases.
Wow.
That mom knows.
I agree.
It is, but also in some cases you should attack them outright before they have a chance to do anything to you.
Fair.
Like
and
in
you
the
gotta
story
turn
of
around to do that, unfortunately.
The lady who was cursed by the Aswang from a few weeks ago.
Eventually the voice died out, and my mom gathered the courage to turn around. There was no one there. She checked on us to see if we were fast asleep. We were. My fever was still very high, but the moment I stepped out of the hotel, my fever subsided.
It's weird.
It's weird.
That's both strange and weird.
I have 2 stories or 3 stories left, but only time for one. I will post this article, of course, in the listen along so you can read the other ones, but I'll let you two decide. I got one that's titled, "She Won't Let Me Go, Never Give Lifts to Strangers."
Yikes.
And Dada G won't let us play cards.
That one. No. I don't know. Nate, you pick.
No, I think you're right. I think it's the cards.
The card.
Okay. Dada G won't let us play cards. When I was in high school, my maths tuition teacher.
Different education system.
Different education system entirely. Here in America, we treat it like a prison.
There.
Stupid socialist country. My math tuition teacher was teaching permutation combination. This is a different education system completely. She was teaching, or they were teaching, permutation combination to my brother and me in the study on the ground floor of our 3-storied house. This is a very rich family, I believe. I wasn't able to understand the concept, so he decided to try again the next day by simplifying it using cards.
They're getting taught that rich people math. Permutations, etc.
A lot of rule of 7, 2, a lot of compound interest.
Yeah, Pythagoras.
I wasn't able to understand the concept, so now we are simplifying it using cards. The next day, when he started shuffling the deck, we felt the temperature in the room drastically drop.
Math-phobic
and I started shivering. It was around 30 degrees Celsius in Kolkata, but it felt like 15. 30 is like 70 degrees or maybe 80.
Yeah. That's about right.
So it drops half. So we're at like 40 or some shit. Drastic drop.
Noticeable change in temperature.
Then there was a loud bang on the door, and my dad appeared there panting.
Whoa.
He screamed at the maths teacher and asked him,
I need $20.
He does seem in bad shape.
I need it for booze and parking.
He screamed at the maths teacher and asked him what he was doing. Our teacher was taken aback and said that he was teaching maths using playing cards. My dad told him to stop doing that and use some other technique because our grandfather used to love playing cards and liked this particular deck a lot. We may have disturbed his soul.
Wow.
We haven't played cards in the house ever since.
Spooky. I mean,
from Deberon.
That sucks. People need to go to therapy just so they don't leave ghosts that need to be feared. I want to leave a ghost that when people pick up my favorite cards, they're like, "Oh, it feels warmer in here. Somebody turned up the thermostat. Oh, look, somebody cleaned the Latin writing off of the mirror.
Yes, you're talking. What are the benefits of having a ghost? Can you
I'm just
please a
saying-
ghost to get it to do some housework for you?
I'm just saying
Because it's a shared environment.
Roger, I'm saying it starts with the man in the mirror. You got to die a well-adjusted person so that you don't leave a jerky ghost for your family. Like, this sounds like they're walking on eggshells around Grandpa. If you got to
They
be
do.
like, don't touch Grandpa's cards, he'll come back from hell and punish you.
That dad is definitely that like.
Unless
dad
you want to
that's
play a game of 52 soul pickup, he will rip it out of the entire neighborhood.
Don't you remember what happened in 73?
Phenomenal story though. Thank you for collecting that number of stories. Who are you again? Ruth Hati Chatterjee. Thank you very much, and thank you to Tweak India for publishing their work.
Very
Great
cool.
content there. Phenomenal stories. I got the
Fantastic stuff.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
And Jordan, I pass the talking skull to you now.
Oh, the talking skull. It's still talking.
Here it comes, flying in the window.
Hey, somebody brush my teeth.
All lives matter. Oh, okay. That's enough talking skull. I think that's just about enough out of you. Okay. I've got